Hi friends, as always I'm very excited to see you here. If you are meeting for the first time, I'm Uma Shankar Pandey and this is the Rock to USB channel. I host videos on media, communication, research and statistics on this channel. To stay updated with the latest on this channel, I urge you to consider subscribing to the channel. The idea of postmodernism goes beyond the enlightenment ideas of absolute truth and objectivity. It challenges the notion of universal theories to explain all social and natural phenomena. Let's find out postmodernism explained simply in this video. There are a number of theorists whose work defines postmodernism. Among them are Baudrillard's hyperreality, Lyotard's postmodern condition, Frederick Jameson's The Cultural Turn of Postmodernism, the Post-Structuralist Revolution, Foucault's Knowledge and Power, Deleuze and Guattari's work on capitalism and schizophrenia, Zygmunt Bauman's conceptualization of liquid modernity are also seminal to this field. The post in postmodern suggests after. Postmodernism is understood as a questioning of the ideas and values associated with modernism and enlightenment from 17th to 19th century. Postmodernism typically criticizes long-held beliefs regarding objective reality, value systems, human nature, and social progress. The postmodern view denies an objective natural reality by saying there is no such thing as truth. For postmodernists, reason and logic too are merely conceptual constructs and are valid only within the established intellectual traditions in which they are used. All aspects of human psychology are also not absolute and are socially determined. Postmodernists deny that an absolute reality exists. They deny that it is possible for human beings to know something with certainty and that there are objective or absolute moral values. Reality, knowledge and value are constructed by discourses. The prevailing discourses in any society reflect the interests of the elite. According to modernists, there is an objective natural reality, a reality whose existence and properties are independent of human beings. Postmodernists dismiss this idea as a kind of naive realism. Such a reality is a conceptual construct, an output of scientific practice and language. The context of the reality is important. Modernists believe it is possible to construct general theories that explain the natural or social world. Postmodernists dismiss this notion of grand narratives of human development. According to postmodernists, these theories impose conformity on other perspectives or discourses, thereby oppressing, marginalizing, or silencing them. Postmodernism radically rejects the idea that language can faithfully represent reality, that representations can provide the key to true knowledge, and that the things of this world are reflected by our discourses. Postmodernism argues language is influenced by social, political, and cultural circumstances and the specific historical context. All knowledge is contextual and local. The validity claims of any scientific theory are not to be found in some universal criteria, but are the results of negotiated consensus or power struggles. A person should not be seen as autonomous with respect to an objective world, but rather as the product of social circumstances. Globalization, the IT revolution, the changing consumption models, the increasing fragmentation of lifestyles and cultures, the growth of environmentalism, the re-emergence of regionalisms, localisms, and the retreat of the nation state, along with the progressive privatization, signals the end of modernity and the emergence of a new postmodern society. The electronic media, television, computers, video, are central to the presentation of social reality. Visual and linguistic symbols become important while popular cultural forms diversify and expand. Society is therefore fragmented and heterogeneous. Social order is always local and contextual and works as an assemblage of symbolic codes. Sociological theories should acknowledge the fragmentation and diversity inherent in the local character of knowledge. They should explore their consequences for the world we live in and should experiment with new modes of representation or dialogical forms. Postmodern social theory focuses on the deconstruction and fragmentation of the human subject. In Deleuze and Guattari, this dispersal is theorized as desiring machines. In Lyotard, it is a part of the logics of libidinal intensities. In Baudrillard, it consists of a series of inquiries into hyper-reality. Jean-François Lyotard's The Postmodern Condition, a report on knowledge, published in 1979, helped make the term postmodern widely known. George Simmel's analysis of modernization processes, Friedrich Nietzsche's critique of epistemology, and Ferdinand de Saussure's theory of language, the French structuralist and post-structuralist movement played an important role. Lyotard views the defining features of the postmodern condition as involving a rejection of the grand narratives of enlightenment, such as truth, freedom, justice, and reason. Modernity for Lyotard, as for some other postmodern theorists, is characterized by the grounding of knowledge and science in appeals to master narratives. Zygmunt Bauman in 1992 has argued that notions like sociality, habitat, self-constitution, and body are better suited for the analysis of contemporary social processes than the traditional concepts of society and order. He coined liquid modernity to describe the condition of constant mobility and change he sees in relationships, identities, and global economics. Deleuze and Guattari propose a celebration of the fluid and multiple intensities of schizophrenic desire to oppose the repressive functionings of social norms under capitalism. They develop the notion of a subjectless machine, which is a schizophrenic overflowing of desire that produces and reproduces itself in aimless circulation. Baudrillard rejects the Marxist critique of commodities in terms of exchange value. He says it is sign value that shapes expressions of style, power, and prestige in the age of consumer society. Media simulations, thanks to their brilliant hallucinogenic excess, are responsible for the demise of structured realities. In hyper-reality, signs are more important. For Friedrich Jameson, the global spiraling of multinational capitalism has dramatically compressed both space and time. This is due to instant electronic communications and digital flows. This has brought about a genuine global cultural ideology. Postmodernism represents a new ideological form of capitalism, a cultural dominant, truly worldwide in scope. The post-structuralist revolution challenged the Enlightenment ideals of truth and objectivity. It emphasized the recovery of everyday experience and contextual interpretations of the social on the need for an awareness of the political dimensions of every form of knowledge and the instability of language. Another key post-structuralist influence on the postmodern turn was the functioning of power. The production of knowledge that was often described as objective and neutral was now seen as inherently imbued with power, and thus became an object of analysis, as did its practices and protagonists. Some postmodernists look to deconstruction as a method. Others employ introspective, intersubjective, and anti-objectivist interpretation. Still others look to wisdom, lived experience, storytelling, empathy, introspection, imagination, subjective judgment, and faith as method. Thanks for staying along, friends. As always, it was a delight having you here. I'll be back with another video very soon. Till then, have a great time.